Ready for round two. Okay. So, I think we left off with Kalari giving us a rundown of all of her mental health problems. Um, I've always found this very interesting when people share that way because it can be perceived in a couple different ways, right? It could be you're sharing your journey. I, struggled with this. I apologize for this. I wasn't able to control myself in this situation. It could be something like that. Or it could be an excuse for your behavior. And I don't know which it is with Kalari. Because, as Michael pointed out, she doesn't take accountability for anything. She is constantly barking out instructions to her audience instead. So let's go.
Mental health wise, which not a lot of personality tests do, which is why I was able to believe a lot of this stuff that I've seen on shows like Adam's Ruins Everything, and a lot of stuff I researched myself about the original Myers-Briggs trait test. I understand that it came from a place of negativity. What I tried to explain to both the posters is because enough people believe in the traits thing, because it has grains of truth in it, there are people who are trying to make the...
Welcome back, Elizabeth.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound really clear now. Is there anything you want to say so far about what you've heard, Elizabeth?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Just let me know whenever you want to say something.
I will. It's an actual study. They're met with a wall of people who call it stuff like astrology, and I'm sorry. As somebody who believes in spirituality that isn't organized religion, it kind of bothers me that people are like, oh, astrology is just garbage too. I get that it doesn't float your boat. And I'm not heavy on astrology as some people are. I don't base everything I do on it, but I do like calling myself a Gemini. I feel like there are a lot of people who think they're...
Hang on, girl, isn't your birthday in January? She's not a Gemini, I don't think. I believe what I found out. I think she was born in January of 77. So I could be wrong. My research could be wrong. But I believe her birthday's in January. And that would not make her a Gemini. Gemini's in the end of May to June.
It would make her a Capricorn.
Their intellect means pooing on stuff that they think is beneath them. And you don't look any better doing that. The whole thing of dismissing people's beliefs that keep us sane, keep our minds straight when they're anything but, bothers me. And I don't say this to start a fight with y'all. That's the problem. It's hard for me to convey how I'm feeling in 240 characters because it's not easy to take what people are saying, even when you're conscious of what you type out. I am so in my head that I worry at the stuff that I tweet out to people just in response because I don't want them taking it as confrontational. But I know there's no way they're going to take it as such. I just want people to understand that if you're basing your hate of personality tests off just the Myers-Briggs revelation that, yeah, they were racist, they believed in eugenics, which is somebody with mental health. I'm not down with anybody who believes in eugenics. And for those...
Hang on. Whoa, what's eugenics? Somebody?
Elizabeth, do you know what eugenics is? Anne?
I don't. I'm not a psych nurse.
I don't.
So eugenics was a study of how to create stronger, more intelligent humans, right? It, like any other science, has some really negative things to it. It was used by Hitler. She's going to bring that up. And it was used in the U.S. as well. But what it has become in the U.S. is basically blood testing before you get a marriage license to make sure that you're not marrying a first cousin.
Does she mean that she's not down with people liking people with eugenics? What the fuck?
I don't know what eugenics is.
Well, that just sounded like she's racist against people who have mental health.
But she has mental health.
I know. What?
Yeah. I'm going to share her Spottable link. If anybody wants it, it'll be down here in the
Spottable or shoutable?
It's right here. The link is going to be down here in the chat.
What they've tried to do with it, moving forward, is use it to make sure that there are no more birth defects, like repetitive genes from groups of people who kept inbreeding. For example, there is an entire group of people that moved up to Washington State to live on a compound from, they were from Louisiana, and they are all deaf and blind. So this is one of those situations where they would want to make sure that if there are relationships, that it is definitely not with somebody who has the same gene that will potentially impact their offspring.
Anybody can click in and go check it out.
Spoutable.
She posts here just about every day.
Well, I'm not interested.
Let me know. It's really funny, some of the stuff she posts on there.
I looked up eugenics.
Okay, what is it?
It says the study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population to increase the occurrence of heritable characteristics regarded as desirable.
So, like cloning?
It's kind of what it sounds like. Not cloning, but
yeah.
but you're getting this person and that person to mate because they have desirable traits.
Oh my.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Do you like that sound, Emma?
Thunder said, be careful, guys. Spoutable is not secure with your personal data. So, yeah, I don't support that. I just literally, it popped up when I was looking her up, and I just was reading her stuff on there.
Okay, so now I know what it is, and it's not
selective breeding of populations.
Oh, that's what it is all up? Oh, okay, yeah, I had no idea. Well, I don't support it. I just didn't know what it was.
Hi, Miley. Long time no see, hon.
Hey, Miley.
Hey, Miley.
I haven't been around either. So.
Oh, okay, Emma.
Yeah, okay. So she's not with that, then that's okay. Okay, I get it. What the hell is that word? It's a big one.
Oh, well, the Hitler conversation in the chat is going to lead into one of the videos that we're going to be playing eventually because she thinks the Fourth Reich is coming.
You don't understand what eugenics is. It is a belief that there are genetic superior people and genetic inferior people, and that genetic inferior people shouldn't breed, actually lower the population's quality. And these genetic superior people always happen to be straight white people.
Oh, you know what? I'm about tired of this shit. Fuck you.
You know, because
For some,
oh my god.
So what about all those people in sports that are of color? So what? They're not part of this? Like, give me a break. Like, oh my gosh, woman, open your eyes.
Black POC, straight fair skin of their kind.
Oh,
they always allude towards white supremacy. That's the problem with eugenics.
Wow.
And if you look at the original Myers-Briggs personality test, yeah, you're going to see a lot of the issues with those tests. But what I feel is that a lot of people who felt strongly about, yes, there are things about this test that I definitely don't like, but there are things that I can take, do my own research, actually talk to people with certain traits and build profiles. Stuff like that happens. We have seen throughout history stuff that was originally done for negative reasons, including psychology, that have grown into actual helpful studies. And what bothers me when psychologists, people, especially people who are in psychology, who try to debunk things like personality tests, come across as smug when I said it, my friend, and I mean this.
She's always so angry.
Yeah.
Like, so angry all the time.
Not as angry as that Heather Brooke.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, she's not.
I don't know.
Well, so far I don't see her being angry like Heather Brooke is. Like,
No,
that
I
woman
see
just
hate.
shouts.
Kalari is holding in her anger. Yeah,
Well, she's just very racist,
She's
though.
holding it in. Yeah, she's very racist, but her husband Carl is a white man. I don't understand it.
Your field has a lot of issues with bias. A lot. As a woman, especially, historically speaking, the shit y'all did to women, especially trans women, was horrific.
Where's this coming from?
Telling women that our moods, especially bipolar disorder, was just hypermania, and that things like stimulating our sexuality.
Oh, that's right. Greg is the husband. Carl is deceased. That's right.
Could help us with our mental illness. Having more babies, praying in a way. Stuff that has been scientifically and psychologically debunked, but used to be the standard. You know how I know that psychology has been good towards people of color and women? I've lived it.
Yeah.
I had a doctor look me in the face while evaluating my mental health and tell me that I was too smart to have schizophrenia. And that...
Oh, come on. Someone told you were too smart.
Huh.
And she talks herself up so much.
She knows everything. Don't you know?
Capone said Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. Yeah.
I haven't been watching Heather that much, Emma, because I've just been waiting for you, so I'll watch it tomorrow. Yeah, she's full of shit. She really is. No doctor's going to tell her she's too smart.
I think she reads these things that she says she looks up and studies. I think she's totally like another person and totally is just taking out what little bits and pieces. It's like what some people do with the Bible. They take out bits and pieces that work for them,
Yeah.
but they don't read the whole thing.
Yeah. Elizabeth, coming from like a medical professional, how do you feel about her saying the doctor looked at her and said, "You're too smart to have schizophrenia"?
No.
She just said no.
Yeah, no.
No.
That doesn't happen.
Percent.
Intelligence and mental illness have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, exactly, Kimmy.
Nothing to do with each other.
Yeah. Also, yeah, if anyone doesn't know who Heather is, Emma's going to be covering her tomorrow. She's really fun to watch. She's really crazy.
Put me in the tailspin because I already have people around me saying that black people can't have mental illness.
Emma's not crazy.
Oh, my
Nobody
God.
says
Heather's
that
crazy.
nut job.
It's just a diagnosis of the racism, and you'll get rid of it. They did not want me talking about having mental health problems because of the stigma and the shame they felt from me having
Oh,
it.
my God.
They didn't care that I was suffering, that the non-lucid days put my life in danger. They didn't want the shame of me and my problems. And it's
Emma can drop her. Well, Emma is kind of crazy, but Emma's a fun crazy.
Yeah.
Emma,
Kalari, who is they? Who is they in this scenario that was telling you these things?
you drop your link? Emma can drop anyone's link.
set me in the tailspin of trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. Because if it's not schizoaffective disorder, which is schizophrenia and bipolar, why do I hear voices? Why do I have days where things around me are happening, but they didn't really happen? It pisses me off that people don't understand that mental health is not cut and dry. And the problem with psychology throughout history was it was started and founded by straight old white men. And I say straight with quotations because a lot of them weren't as straight as they thought they were.
Oh my god. She has so many grievances to the white people. The white
See, it's like they all did her dirty.
all the white people have done her dirty.
Yeah.
Huh.
It didn't take
But I'm gonna marry one.
into consideration gender. It didn't take into consideration gender identity. It didn't take into consideration sexual orientation. In fact, when I went to school to study medical coding and administration, I still have an ICD-9 book that I learned from. And it was almost, I think, 20 years ago.
That's exactly
That has mental illness listings, and being homosexual is on that list. Some of you have been alive in a time when none of this was affected. You don't know what it's like to not be able to be who you are out and proud.
I think that she tried, with as much as she talks about this, I'm wondering if she tried to do the lesbian thing and none of the women would have her. So then she was like, let me go out and find like a hopeless little white boy. And she found like a white boy she could take control over.
And I know this is coming out on the last day of Pride, so I think it really applies. Some of you are in your 20s and don't even realize that even as you were born, there were medical coding books that said who you loved made you mentally ill.
Oh, Jesus.
And when I was your age and younger, being out was a death sentence. People thought they had the right to beat you to death for being who you are. So let me put it to you in plain terms. Psychology cannot have a highest.
Oh, I was just trying to look at her teeth. Okay. Even if all the front ones are really small, and then one,
Emma.
yes. Greg is the husband. Carl is.
Oh, that is funny though.
Carl is the dad.
Yeah, he's definitely not had any two on there.
It's like stand on when looking down on these
Funny.
personality tests, as far as I'm concerned, because you still treat mental health as if you can just give us a label and treat us with a common brush with our medicines, with therapy, with how we handle things.
That's what
It's getting a lot better, and I will agree with the lady who said that. But even she had to give the caveat that it took 30 years, and we're still not updated because society has changed a lot. And mental health is not something you can broad brush. I
exactly Thunder.
should not have survived as long as I have, with what I have. I very nearly didn't. I am honest about that. There have been many days I have wondered, why am I still here? There are many days I don't want to be here still. I work with that. And there's an issue.
Elizabeth said there is no ICD-9 medical code for homosexuality. That's a lie.
I know there's
What's an
not.
ICD-9?
I am not sure.
It's a coding book. I got medical billing and coding, and I know there's not because I still have that book.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
she's full of shit.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Elizabeth. And thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
With mental health, to where when you find stuff that works, whether the medicine's helping you sleep, whether talking it out helps you feel a bit better.
Elizabeth said there isn't one in ICD.
You know, the thing is, too, she keeps making these grandiose claims about what she knows, about what she's doing, about her participation in GoFundMes that are for other people, etc., that are so easily debunked by the community around her who actually have experience in these areas. So you're going to talk about a medical coding book from 20 years ago that you're lying about. There's going to be people who can debunk you.
And either. I don't know what all that means, but I guess it's like an update.
They're different books for coding.
Okay.
that you start thinking, okay, I am doing better. I must not be as bad as people are saying. And then I stop doing the things that are helpful, and the symptoms come back even worse. And then I have to do double the work to get back to where I was before I started to stop doing the things that were helping my mental health.
Well, whose fault is that, Kalari? Whose fault is that? You're acting angry. You're yelling at your audience like we're somehow responsible for the fact that you can't stay on track. This is your problem. This is a you problem.
So if you know this cycle, everything I just said is going to sound familiar to you because it's a fucked up hell that we're in. We get to a point where the therapy and the meds and the sleeping is working, and then in our minds, we're good. We don't have to keep that up. We're good. We've got this. And then it slowly starts to seep back. And you have to deal with the non-lucid. And that is the thing that scares me more than anything. Because the voices in my head
exactly, Kimmy.
I know some people, and that's a big problem that I'm definitely going to touch upon in one of the blogs, like to use voices as an excuse. A lot of people like to fake mental illness and say, oh, the voices made me kill people.
Sometimes it's true there, lady.
I don't know why I'm laughing at that. It's just...
But she's saying that, you start feeling better, so you go off your meds and blah, 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 or you stop doing whatever. Like, hello. Yeah, I'm the same way, Kimmy. Like,
that.
I've been on medication for 20 years now. There's no friggin' way I can go on my meds. You're on meds for a reason. You don't just stop them whenever you feel like it.
Did you hear her, Dusty? She's blaming everybody else because she went off her meds because she felt better. That's how
It's like your blood pressure is better, so you stop taking your meds. Well, what happens? After you stop taking meds.
Exactly.
Blaming the doctors and society for that.
I do that all the time for my patients.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
feel better, so I stopped them.
Yeah, you feel
What
better.
the dumbass.
My
Emma,
husband knows when I haven't been on my meds.
Emma said, did she stop uploading now, or is she still doing her podcast? She hasn't posted, I believe, in 6 days, Emma. But, I would imagine she's taking a break from after the election. She's probably like hunkered down right now, but she'll be back.
Because Trump's looking at just for her. So
Yeah, especially
gotta hide out.
January 20th is the inauguration. She'll definitely be back.
And being diagnosed as a sociopath, I am so leery of that because a lot of people who commit murders, a lot of people who are just harmful and hateful, love to lean on, oh, I'm mentally ill, I'm a sociopath. And I try to be 100% honest when talking about stuff like this. I know I can emotionally detach. Matter of fact, I feel like it's a light switch for me now that I'm older. I can really just shut it off and just not feel stuff. I go to my go-away place that I've had for a very long time due to different traumas.
What's her go-away place? Does anyone know what her go-away place is?
I have no idea, but
I
you mentioned being older and kind of just shutting her down. I can do that now that I'm older. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go anywhere.
I want to see what her go-away place looks like.
Yeah.
I also know that if I had to harm somebody to protect myself or somebody I love, I'm probably not going to hesitate like some people. Well, I also know because
She's a certified crazy.
She just said, I'm going to hurt somebody. What did she say again about
She
hurting
said that
herself?
if she was going to hurt herself, she would not hesitate like some people would hesitate.
Oh, I thought she said she would hurt somebody else or something.
She did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hearing voices that aren't there.
time
Oh.
to talk it out, to get help, is that I am still responsible for my actions.
Exactly.
And if I hurt somebody, I don't have right to make them feel guilty because of my mental health. I still hurt them. And that's the thing a lot of people with alleged mental
Is this kind of her dipping into her DV history? Because I've wondered this about how she says that she is a survivor of DV, that it was with her current partner, they've worked through it. She also threw out her son's name in this scenario. And I'm wondering who is the aggressor in these potential situations, because it sounds very much the way she puffs herself up like she is the aggressor.
health issues try to skirt around because you think it's a get out of responsibility free card, and it's not. And it's not fair to those of us who suffered in silence for far too long for you to get on places like this app, this
lady.
YouTube and stuff, and say things like, well, I'm just out of pocket. That's just my personality. I have mental health issues. Let me cry on cue. And people will believe me and want to protect me. And that's another thing I see people doing that kind of vexes me. I get that you want to have our backs, as I said earlier. It's one of the things that I do love about people who follow me is that I do feel protected sometimes, but I don't need your protection. I am not a child. I am 44 years old. And it bothers me that people infantile people with mental health issues. And you don't feel like you're doing it on purpose. And some of you probably aren't. But unless I am in a place where you know she is not,
I don't think infantile was the appropriate word in that scenario either. Um, but okay.
There, not lucid. 10 is checked out. I don't need you hand holding me. I don't need you explaining my life to me. And I don't need you treating me like a 5-year-old. Because unlike that horrible psychologist who set me in a fucking deep depression and tailspin with his
Thank you, big Sugarfoot Tefler.
By the way, nobody does anything to you. You do it to yourself. Like, I hate when people do that.
Thank you so much, Olaf, for sharing this out. I appreciate you.
Yes,
so
Olaf,
many people have come in saying that you brought them here. Thank you so much, Olaf. You're the best.
I had that in mind too today. Thank you, Olaf.
Yes.
Yeah, like she just said that person just put me in a tailspin. No, you put yourself in a tailspin because you allowed yourself to go into a tailspin.
Exactly. Yeah, I do love that name, Big Sugarfoot Tefler. That is that's very funny. Yeah, thank you so much, Cordelia. Yeah, there's been so much. I think Miss T is from Olaf also. There's been a lot that's popped through. I was really happy to see Bali in here. That's cool.
Since did. I know that what I have doesn't require a lack of intelligence. Just because you can't tell where you are sometimes or what day it is, just because your mind sees things that might not be there for somebody else, but is visibly, audibly, and physically there for you, doesn't mean you can't add 2 + 2, man. The test he gave me was basic. But I guess in his world, a black woman, especially since we're supposed to be lower class, and because, I don't have a lot of money.
Of yourself.
You're playing
I'm supposed to
Oh my gosh. Who's telling her this stuff?
I would love to know.
All in her head. It is all in her head.
Like it is because, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty bad. Barberry. Hi, Barberry.
Yeah, hey, Barberry.
Hi, Barberry.
I grew up around quite a few black people, and I don't recall a single one of them speaking so lowly of themselves or of their community or having such hatred for white people like this. And these are people I know who have had to deal with hate crimes in their lives. And they still held their head high and kept moving on.
Lesser education than most, but that's not my backstory.
Leslie, Bali might still be here. She's working out on the treadmill right now listening.
Either. He thought he could tell me that my mental health issue wasn't real because I showed too much intelligence. And this is a problem with the psychology field that a lot of people don't talk about because, A, as a black woman, I hate rock and roll. I hate drawing attention to myself because everybody's like, you're always making it about race. It's always about that. Why can't you talk? Because it's my life. You know, I don't want to have everything linked to racism, but you know what makes it hard to do that? The racism that affects my life.
What racism?
And you don't want me talking about it because I hurt your feelings, but I live with this shit. I've had people downplay my very serious mental health issues due to their bias, due to their gender bias. And
stand up for yourself.
How? Prove it.
How?
I prove it. Give me examples. I want to hear all the examples of all the racism that you have faced. Exactly, Emma. Yeah, her husband's white, her kid is half white, her in-laws are white.
Stupid round eye, that was good.
In your head, Kalari, Kalari.
And due to their racism. And it's because of that I have trust issues. I would love to have a psychologist that really wants to study the effects of schizoaffective disorder on black women.
So why don't you research and find a black psychiatrist?
Well, see, what do you mean a no-joke reference?
What color you are. If you've got mental
It's a
health
cranberry,
issues,
son.
it's dope.
I'm saying that if that's such an issue for her, why doesn't she just find a black psychiatrist? And then she would not have to go on YouTube crying about racism.
Study me. I would love to talk to them, get them in so that I can give them an unmasked look at how I am. But it's hard for me to trust now. Going through therapy, especially when I lived in the South, was a nightmare. Every other month, it felt like I had to get a new one because the turnover for free places is ridiculous. Even the place that I have here, I know because of the pandemic, I couldn't go to physical sessions. So when I am able to go back to physical sessions, I have to start with a whole new doctor, get them all adjusted to my ways, get used to what they think will work for me. And it's a freaking nightmare. When you're broke and you have mental health issues, it is hard to find stability, which is what you need to stay getting help. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that because a lot of people still think we choose this illness. And because mental health is not visible unless you're having an issue or non-lucid, people don't want to try to understand. People think, oh, it can just go away.
I got another truck coming. Hold on a second. Okay. You know, it's interesting, too, that she says that she's the shaman, right? That she's a witch. So, within her faith, how much of that involves the type of things like being in a hothouse or smoking the peace pipe or whatnot? Is it possible that she is causing her own hallucinations? I don't doubt that she's got mental health issues at all, especially if she's willing to come online and say, I have this. Sure. Although most of the other things that she's said online so far have turned out to be false. So it's hard to follow.
Right. Jan's view said that people are racist for calling out Kalari. Yaba and Sam tried saying that too until French Fry Girl called Kalari out and they sided with her because they're cowards. Well said, Olap.
You see how I'm talking right now, and they think, well, it can't be that bad. It's hell.
That's what I'm thinking, Elizabeth, yeah. Because if you were talking, I couldn't hear anything you were saying.
The only way I can put it. Because I know there are days where I just don't feel right. And I'm lucky that I have people close to me right now that care and that help me through it. But not everybody has this. And too many of you come from this weird perch of, I know what I know because I studied and I have peer reviews. But your peer reviews come from a place, historically, that has been biased against people with ethnic differences, people with gender differences, people with sexual identity differences. And if you're not willing to acknowledge that, but shit on stuff like personality tests, which you can take those with a grain of salt. I admit that because of its origins and because of so many online scammy type tests, that people who take those tests should not only use those to explain themselves. But if you feel like I felt,
exactly, Capone, show proof. Every video I've watched, she's never shown any bit of evidence that anyone is being racist towards her. I have yet to see the evidence.
Yeah, a sense of, yes, somebody sees me. I feel humanized by this. Don't let some expert talk you out of that feeling, because too many times experts are way too clinical and far less human towards us. And if you're a psychologist or a psychology major and you're seeing this and you want to use this as an example, I'm telling you right now, I cut my empathy on and off. I don't know how I do it. Sometimes it just happens. If you think you have empathy, you need to understand that your field means you have to be open to different people's experiences. And you have to stop invalidating people based on what you learned in a textbook. If anything, the study of psychology should tell you that you need to be prepared for anything, because no one story is going to be alike. And that people take trauma and compartmentalize it, and it comes out in different ways. And if you're really going to go into the mental health field, you need to be prepared for that. And you need to be mindful that different backgrounds, especially people who are older.
I'm sure she's going to say, especially people that are black. I'm sure it's coming.
On through some horrific things just for existing as who we are. We don't need your clinicalism. We need you to view us as humans. So that's what I just wanted to talk about today. And I hope I didn't come across as too preachy or emotional or dead or pan, because I know sometimes I feel like I'm more emotional in my head and it doesn't always come across. I don't know. I just know I've survived 44 years with schizophrenia and then got a bipolar disorder.
It's Dr. Google. Too expert.
I've survived dark days. I've survived manic highs that make me feel like I can do any and everything at once, and then a crash when that doesn't pan out. I love creativity. I love writing. I love storytelling for just sci-fi and stuff. I love being me, but I don't always understand who I am. And because of my lack of funds, I tend to research and study as much as I can. And in research and study, I know when stuff is bullshit and when it's not. And I know that I can't take anything at 100%. But what I do know is that we need to be a bit gentler in the way we interact, even on social media. I know that I can take stuff at a wrong value when I initially read it. That's why I didn't want my response to people to blow up. It was my biggest fear about the back and forth on that, because I know there are always going to be people who think they know better than people who have the lived experience. But I need folks.
The writing is
Like you?
is really bad. Yeah, so allegedly she's an author. That's what her job is she's an author.
That's what she does for work? No.
That's what she does for work, allegedly. Yeah, she used to be a speechwriter, self-published. Yes, yeah, it's on her LinkedIn that she used to be a speechwriter for a congressman.
Oh. Could that be fun? Never mind. I'm
to understand that I'm okay with us having a difference of opinion. I just think they don't understand, especially when they're white, how they come across to people of color, and especially black people, with their friendly advice or with their articles to tell me about racist origins when, I already knew. So I'm about to wrap this up because I need to get ready to go mod. And I just want to thank everybody who tunes into these, who allow me to share the side of myself that I used to think was shameful. I used to live and suffer in silence because I live in a society that treats mental health as something that everybody thinks they know, but you don't really understand it. And it comes across when people like me open up and talk about who we are, and you treat us like, well, let me tell you about your life. Don't do that. But I'll be back next week with another one.
Oh, that's
maybe a more in-depth.
Hold up, who was she getting ready to go mod for?
talk about some of the things that I've seen people do. I don't know. I just know that I have one idea in my head, and then that talk about personality tests made me go, no, I really need to talk about how psychology has its own history of biases and stigmas, and that while, yeah, you have your peer review, I need you to look at your peers, because a lot of your stuff still come from a place of white supremacy and especially patriarchal fuckery. And if you're using that to shun personality and trait studies, maybe don't. But I'm going to wrap this up. I will talk to you next week.
I'm going to talk to you next week.
She's funny.
You know, the larger channels and our locals in the neighborhood, Chantel and Amberlynn and even Eugenia Cooney, really need to be aware of grifters like this who will spend a couple of dollars to buy a super chat and get some notice and get their name read and get their message read, because they're abusing the use of your chat to do that.
Not.
She is something else.
She's something. She is, like, she sits there and talks about all this shit, but yet, when she's talking about it, she's saying the same thing over, just using different words.
Oh, she was going to mod for Sam Tuffler.
Oh, lucky her.
Okay, so now we're going to take a jump. We're going to come to more current day.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a couple years old. There's a lot more to watch from the couple years old ones. But yeah, now she's no longer a mod for anyone now.
I wonder why.
Yes, so we're going to watch the short video, and then I'm going to show you guys the GoFundMe that she had set up. And then I'm going to show you her, what's it called? The spottable thing. I'm going to show you that, and we're just going to run through that. And then we're going to move on after that about her current election grievances.
Like happiness.
Yes. So let me get this video. Yeah, if everyone's got a pair of socks, get them ready, and you guys can play along with her on this.
I can't. My knee's all buggered.
Well, then she's going to one-up you here.
I know. But I already did it. I can do it.
Well, if anyone's got a pair of socks, get them ready, because you can play
I can
along.
do it.
I only need one. She's got a leg up on me.
Oh, you're so funny. No, just kidding. I mean, you are fun. Your socks are white, though?
So, the video is titled Just Saying Heffa, and she calls Foodie Beauty Heffa. That's her nickname.
She calls her Heffa?
Heffa.
This is in response to Foodie Beauty showing how she puts her socks on, and she flips her legs up in a really bizarre way to get it done, but it shows that she does have some level of flexibility. And I guess that somehow bothered Kalari. I just don't even know.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
You're just as big.
Oh, Cordelia said my socks are white, though. That's fine. You can still do it.
You can wear your racist socks.
You're racist.
You're racist. Because
This video is great. Yeah, I love this. Wrong.
Really? Okay, sorry. Heffa.
Sometimes you have to be a little petty, because apparently I didn't think it was a flex. I just said, and I said I didn't think it was a flex. I was just bringing up the fact that some of us can do this. We can lean forward. We don't have to put ourselves.
She's the biggest foodie.
On while standing up. No balance issues.
You never lifted up your
Her
foot.
bonnet fell forward, so she's proving here, Dusty, that she can put her socks on standing up, and that
She
Foodie,
never lifted up her leg.
and that Foodie can't.
I can lift up my leg and put on my socks standing up when my knee isn't all fudged up.
None of that stuff. Like sitting on the couch, having to literally contort yourself. And like I said,
Oh, you're struggling,
I'm
girl.
not acting like it's still 100% easy to do. But when I was 500 pounds, I couldn't do this. So Chantel, what else you got for me? Because you tend to be acting like
That sock is messed up. That is not on straight.
Hey, Jenna.
Jenna, welcome in. Jenna said, I hope you go into her domestic violence claims against her husband and possibly her son. I definitely will. Yeah, this won't be the last of Kalari. I'll have to find them and just keep watching. Yeah, she is bending her knee there.
nobody can understand weight loss struggle because it's yours. You act like nobody can do something because you can't do it. You say we all eat like you, which we don't. Because I've heard of normal size portions. It's why I'm no longer 500 pounds. But bitch,
Well, congratulations.
if you want to have a competition,
What the hell is she doing with all that water?
What water? Where's the water?
Right there. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh, I see what you're looking at. Yeah.
There's 14 cases of fucking water.
Well, you know, you got to be ready for the, what did she call it? For the rapture.
The rapture. Oh my god.
Okay, but my thing is, so obviously she's not a Christian because the rapture basically takes all Christians away. So, you want to stay here after the rapture? It's not supposed to. It's not going to be fun. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's the rapture is supposed to be that all of those of us who have been judged favorably get a flame over our head and we go straight to heaven. This is what happens when she tries to mix faiths with her belief system. I wonder if she's building her bunker yet, for goodness sakes. Her weird competition that she's got going on here with Chantel is bizarre. But it's interesting. She said, that's why I'm no longer 500 pounds, which means she's still in the 400-pound range. She could potentially weigh more than Chantel.
She's a tinfoil doomsday prepper. Yeah, her 5 plants and her makeshift greenhouse and all that water, she'll make it through just fine.
The rapture is a lot here.
Because I've already lost over 250 fucking pounds. So, it's like I said,
Never heard
I
of
tried to get away from your shit for a week. You and your little cadre of clowns can't help but talk about me. And it's like I said, I can put on my motherfucking socks standing up.
Yeah.
Until you can do that, especially since you're supposedly having a glow up, shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
She said,
Love bonnets.
I hear you loud and clear.
I love that video. That one's so funny.
Shut the fuck up.
Have a coconut smile and shut the fuck up.
She has buckets. She'll be all right.
Okay. Let me share this. So, yeah. So this was her GoFundMe. So the place... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat. I haven't looked that much into this. This was a GoFundMe to save the place where she's living at now, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Somebody was doing a video on that. I remember that.
I think Olap did a video on this.
Yeah. Oh.
I think. And she raised 3,000. Miss T said yes. Okay.
Exactly. So, you're right.
So she raised 3,000 of the $50,000 goal. Well, I guess that she knows that this got around. So she made some posts. So it says, our grandfather Carl bought, not, and she brought. So she's a speechwriter. She does really, really bad editing.
Because Word doesn't have, autocorrect or nothing.
Yeah. So our grandfather Carl bought this land years ago as a way for animals to have a safe place. Cats, dogs, and horses called this land home along with him. Sadly, Carl is now ill with dementia. Alzheimer's is a disease that has affected many lives, and our family is now experiencing the pain of having a loved one suffering with it. Due to this, his home and animal sanctuary are now at risk. We wish to continue caring for Carl in his home and preserving his legacy by keeping his rescued animals where they found a loving home. But we don't have the money. Mind you, this is coming from a woman who just posted a video about showing people how to invest their money. So probably wouldn't take her advice. If we can pay what we need to pay the bank, we can continue to keep this land the way Grandpa Carl wants it. He can no longer understand what is going on around him, but I know he would want to continue to have his land be used towards keeping animals safe. We appreciate any help given towards this goal. She raised $3,000. I mean, the goal was $50,000, so she was probably pissed.
It's probably the white people.
No, so it wasn't even her grandfather. It was Greg's grandfather.
That's what I thought, because
Greg
somebody said that he's white.
Oh, Jenna said 50,000 was the foreclosure amount. Okay, so the grift got out about this PayPal. So, and I don't care to show her name because, everybody knows her name. And if you go back and watch her old video, she says her whole name, so I don't really care. So on September 28th, 2024, can you guys just read this? I don't really feel like reading this whole thing. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing this.
Yeah, Cordelia, does she accept white money? Yeah.
This is where she lost FFG, because FFG is very passionate about animals, and so no longer welcome to her channel. FFG went further and started making donations to actual animal sanctuaries, one in Canada and one in Michigan, presumably somewhere near Kalari. I think it's been stated that she lives in Dearborn.
For green money. It's another color. We have purple and red money.
So I want to make sure that the false narrative, basically, she's complaining that people on YouTube are trying to spin a tale about her. She ended up buying the house through a mortgage. Now her and her family live there. We were trying to save this place, and we kind of did. It won't be a sanctuary right now, but hopefully one day we can build homes on it.
So she didn't save the animals then?
No, the animals were not saved. They were sacrificed.
Yeah.
But I know if I just erase this, they would think their lies had merit. So 2 things for you liars I know are lurking to say. C, she still has it up. So she said, after I took this down, your liar attack dog pick what?
It pick me. She calls Ola pick me.
Oh yeah, she calls Olaf a pick me bitch.
Yeah.
She took it down. I win. No, you didn't. Lily spread a lie that I inherited a property that belonged to my family, which I did not. There was no inheritance of this property. I'm just quickly scanning this. I don't feel like reading all of her nonsense.
That was so funny. If I took this down, your liar attack dog pick me will say, look, she took it down. I win.
I was. She spelled racking wrong.
Shut up for Ola.
Look at this. That is not how you spell racking.
Oh, that's funny. I pick you, Ola. I remember that. Oh, yeah, I watched that video. Oh.
So, oh yeah, look, you can still donate to this.
No, thanks.
Yeah, see, the donate's still there. So if she wasn't trying to grift, you would think she would just take this down and would just post this message to her YouTube. No, she still wants people to donate towards this. So you are still grifting.
Well, I'm sure she's taken the 3,000 out already, or can she?
Yes, you can cash it out early, I believe. Yeah,
I think if you don't cash it out in a certain amount of time, the money is returned.
Yeah, GoFundMe takes a percentage, I believe. So the next thing. So this is her spottable right here. This is like the cover of her book right here. So it says she's a mom, a gamer, a voter, and author of Axiom. I write sci-fi and talk politics on my.
What is Axiom?
It's, I don't know the name of her book. I write sci-fi and talk politics on my weekly Twitch streams in a bonnet. Schizo-affective writer.
Which?
And it says she's an investor.
In what? Herself?
I don't know. So she pinned this. Yeah, she's talking about Project 2020.
Coming of one. Garbage.
Yes, but she hasn't posted on YouTube, but this was today. This is at 1:30 this afternoon. She posted. So this is where she's been posting.
What are you doing with the Death Note thing? That was a good show.
It's some game she found in her garage.
Oh, well, it's a good show.
Yeah, so right here, today at 8:18 this morning, she says, some of you have to learn how to go into protect my peace mode, or these next few years will break you. The media will kowtow you to this mess. Folks will doom and gloom. Kamala would want us to protect our joy. We need to avoid unnecessary stress from bad faith people. Girl, Kamala don't even know your name. She don't know your name.
True that.
Why didn't you post videos out, like, volunteering for her?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you go out and volunteer? Like, yeah, she don't know your name.
She didn't do shit for Kamala. I've actually met Kamala at the 2019 convention in San Francisco, where almost all of the presidential candidates in that cycle showed up to speak to the California delegates. The only person who didn't show up was Joe Biden, because he knew he was going to get booed off stage. Pretty much any candidate that got on stage and said that they were against Medicare for all got booed off stage. And that's just how it went. But there was a press room. I used to have a political blog that I kept up more regularly. And this particular cycle, I was in the press room when the candidates came back and spoke to the press. So I got some pictures of her, coming up near me, speaking to the audience, all that. I think the only person that I actually covered the speech of was Andrew Yang. And that's because he's a friend of mine on Facebook. And I knew if I went live, it would go live to his own page because he has no security app.
Her trending splash tags are Moon, Dribble, Daily Picture Theme, Gaming, and Resist.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Dribble.
No comment.
She said going back to chilling, but spent my Saturday touching up spots I missed with my purple locks and did a silk press. Not salon worthy, but it feels nice.
Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't think she's a Gemini. I don't know why she keeps posting that.
She's not a Gemini. Somebody said she'd be an Aquarius or something like that.
And she'd be a Capricorn, I think.
What day is her birthday?
I don't know the exact date, but I believe it's January of 1977.
Well,
the year doesn't matter, just the date.
Yeah. No, but January, and that's not Gemini.
I'm a Taurus.
No, Gemini is in
End of
June,
May.
July.
June, July, yeah.
It's end of May to the beginning of June.
No.
Cancer. Yeah.
Did they add another astrological thing on there? Did they add another horoscope thing there? Supposedly I'm on the cusp of Taurus and there's a new one.
I don't know what the new
New
one
one.
is. I mean, I've never heard of the new one.
Okay.
Okay, so our next thing we're going to look at is now we're going to very, very, it's like end of May.
Gemini comes after Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like end of May to middle of like June. So now we're going to go to current day, and this is about this current election.
Probably gonna piss me off.
And there's
Well,
actually,
okay, but it's also okay. So you have your horoscopes, right? But also, what's your birth sign you were born under? You know, and all that
exactly.
other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. Cancer is very end of June to like middle of July.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa, big yawn. For me.
And now we're at the point where she has no front teeth. They're gone.
What about teeth?
Yeah,
No teeth, Eva.
They're completely gone. Yeah, no teeth either.
No teeth, Eva.
The teeth are completely gone. The bonnet is on.
Is the hair gone? Is that why the bonnet's on?
Yeah, they're totally gone at this point.
Okay, honey, if you had bulimia, your teeth would be rotting from the back to the front.
Beautiful regret. When I found out, like just by looking her up and stuff, it said January, so I'm not sure when her birthday actually is.
Maybe she's lying about her birthday.
Because let me restart this. Oh my god, she looks so angry. Okay, so yeah, this was like a week and a half ago.
You know.
Yeah, and Thunder Rain, yeah, that's fine. She cams up, but she'd be better off not camming up.
Yeah, we don't want to look at her hands all day either.
Because I've been trying to help on Twitter how I can. I did a preparation thread because I know a lot of people are still in the honeymoon phase. I'm seeing people who even know better saying, well, it's just going to be 4 years. It won't be that bad. And that's how I know things are going to be bad because a lot of people ignored the signs. And I don't think people understand that this is mirroring history so closely that I would laugh if it wasn't going to be scary. I watched The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich again yesterday just to refresh my brain on how strategically, even though they weren't as competent as people give that party in 1930s Germany credit for, they were strategic. And a lot of things that people ignored or had temporary outrage at make a lot more sense. The Daughters of Liberty, doing Hitler quotes, having books banned, that seemed like a little thing to be annoyed
Hang on a second. Let me see if this works.
with, but it really didn't make
Capone, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is the video. I've not watched this full thing.
sense back then when we talked about it. The fact that, I can't even say the term, the guy that you was going to allow his regime to take over America literally praised and quoted Hitler a couple of times. And it's like, oh, that doctor, no lady, don't take that seriously. We probably should have took that seriously. The fact that McConnell strategically got Supreme Court that he wanted, we now have a Senate majority that is going to not push back against anything. The fact that the House is still a slim, possibly really full majority for the Republicans. And on top of that, he just said he's going to appoint the architect of Project 2025, something that I've been sounding the alarm for months, into this new horrific cabinet. I thought Stephen Miller was going to be his go-bells. I honestly did. But no, it's Elon Musk, an idiot who spent $44 billion on a social media platform that definitely is going to make immediate returns the way they want.
But you use Twitter. I mean, she uses that site.
Like, what she's not understanding either is that Trump doesn't have 100% power over everybody. I mean, there's other people in the
She's just
the
fearing.
thing in the whole system that, you know, like, hello, he doesn't have power. He's not like God. Like, okay, I'm just saying a word. He's not a God, you know, that can just do everything that he wants to do, because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kalari really has no understanding of government whatsoever. So she doesn't understand that even if the Democrats have a slight minority in these two, the House and the Senate, there are still moderate Republicans who are not going to back extreme legislation, period. Because their number one concern, Kalari, is representing their own districts and the people who vote them in. So they have to worry about those people first and foremost before they start, throwing their names into the hat for something that is so destructive it will be career ending.
She's so stupid.
Separate, where little annoyances make sense. His telling the Cloud Boys to stand tall, stand firm years ago didn't make sense to me. But after watching the rise and fall of
You're
the
right,
Third
Emily,
Reich,
do.
and now watching the literal birth of a horrible Fourth Reich.
Come on, girl. She literally just said America is becoming the Fourth Reich.
No, it's not.
No.
Everybody just sees it that way.
No.
What
Because
word
they
is
don't
it?
understand.
What word is it blocking? I don't have any
Hippo.
blocked words.
It
It's
blocked
blocking.
hippo because of
Really?
a word that she was going to use. Yeah, for some reason.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
I don't have any blocked words or anything like that. I don't even
No.
really I have mods, but I don't really block anybody either.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he has 4 years to show how he would lead America. He showed it 8 years ago. Whatever. I don't know how you guys all felt about it back then, but it's just it's horrible. That people truly believe that he's suddenly a god now and he can do whatever he wants, because they don't understand things, right?
She's so messy.
You're right, Capone. Did people forget he was president before?
Yeah, and we made it through fine.
Guys are going to be headbusters. He's going to be intimidators. They might even give you arms so that you can keep mouthy citizens in line, intimidate immigrants, intimidate women.
Oh my God.
Last night was a fucking doozy of people saying, your body, my choice. They're using rape language now. Like, it's not going to be a big fucking deal. And
No. Honey,
to have yourself be a Proud Boy right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because the night of the long knives, when they decided that the brown shirts were no longer useful because they finally had a militaristic force that could keep the good little citizens and the scapegoated citizens in line, y'all all got killed.
I
I'm
want
not
to
saying
read
y'all,
what
because
she's
you're
reading.
channeling those people right to a T. But you're just too stupid to understand it. I know my black ass saying it ain't going to convince you, even though I'm a history buff. I know right now there are people who are cheering this and people who are in denial of this. But once the Dems said, we're not contesting, we're going to give you a peaceful transfer, we're going to be the good guys, like fucking idiots, I knew I had to be out. And I seen that comment when I re-uploaded the Twitch cast, because I did my final Bounty Chronicles yesterday. I feel at peace saying that I can't do it no more. When they ramp up things like security checks to make sure you belong here, when the police have carte blanche to stop, frisk, and do worse, when women have to go on a fucking registry, especially they just travel across state lines, depending on who your governor is, so they can prove that they're not trying to get an abortion. I had to make a very hard decision.
Oh, stop.
Wednesday was hard enough because I couldn't deal with anything. I was in my feels with deep sadness because these motherfuckers did it. But when I say that the decision we talked about and made yesterday made me give up even more, I made the mistake of sharing a bit too much of my life on here. So
Yeah,
it's no
me
problem
too,
for me to
beautiful.
share this. A lot of people who watch me on when I covered a certain topic and when I was in panels for certain topics gleefully talk about taking the steps to have a child with my partner, taking the steps to have hope that we could do it, having the perfect OBGYN, doing the fertility steps, losing weight, doing everything I'm fucking good to make this happen.
You don't
And
need to have a
last week
baby.
when we found out that the 2 months that I felt symptoms and stuff wasn't the case, it didn't take, and nature took its course, I had hope that we could just keep trying. Man, I miss that feeling.
Talking about the doom and gloom. She is doom and gloom.
What is she talking about? You're allowed to have babies. Like, what the hell? If you want to have a baby, have a baby. What's her
Yeah.
issue?
It's just so dark. Like,
Because yesterday,
It's physically impossible for her to have a baby. She's over 400 pounds. She's 48 years old. It's not going to happen. These are the lofty goals she sets for herself and puffs herself up online like she's got all these things she's working towards while on disability.
after talking, we made the decision that it's not going to be safe. I was already high risk.
How's it not
you're
safe?
almost 50 years old. Yeah, you should probably not be thinking about.
No, I agree. Age is a big thing, so it's not a good thing to have a baby, in your 50s. It's not.
I mean-
One, most people who do, not most, but some people who do have Down syndrome babies. I mean, that's another thing. Like, could you handle
Yeah,
that?
I mean, she's
What are you going to do?
40
Get rid of it because it has, Down syndrome? Like, that's just wrong. Like, to me, that's wrong. I mean,
Oh,
that's
hey, Heather, I haven't seen you in forever.
who is it?
Heather. Oh, she changed
Oh,
her name.
hey, Heather. It's been a long time, yeah. But I'm saying that why is she so worried? Why can she not have a baby? Like, this is my problem. This is my
Well,
issue.
honestly,
Why is
I
she
mean,
bitching about it?
I'll just say how it is. I mean, she's very obese. She's 47. It's probably, it's not a good idea for her to have a kid. I mean,
No, it's not. But I'm saying if
She's
she
very
were to
high
get
risk.
oh, I see. Her son is autistic. I get it. Okay, so
her
she
son
doesn't.
just graduated high school, so I don't know why she would want another kid. I don't know.
Y'all are gonna hear crickets. I'm outside.
Oh, okay.
No peace.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not making fun of her for being obese. I'm just saying what it is. Like, she's highly overweight. So, I mean, that right there, That's
Yeah,
high
because
risk right there.
depending, having
Not
another child,
only she's pushing 50 years old.
And is she saying that if and if I find out the baby's, mentally incapacitated or something's wrong with the baby, then I want to have an abortion? Well, I get it if the baby's,
Right? I mean,
dead, or
adoption.
if you're going to die.
yeah, adopt
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Adopt.
Yeah. Go adopt, like,
If that's what you're worried about, then no, then adopt a child. Go adopt a child that's around the same age as, or just a little bit younger than your son or whatever. Like,
It
come on.
doesn't have to be an infant. Do you know
Yeah.
how many
exactly,
children?
yeah. Or become a foster parent or something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
if I
I
want
mean,
her as a foster.
No, I wouldn't want her as a foster mom.
yeah, I won't make fun of her for being obese. I mean, she's trying, it appears, to lose weight.
You mean we can't adopt after 55? That's poo.
I mean, that kind of
No,
makes
you
sense.
can. You can.
No, it says you can adopt until 55.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know,
sorry.
I don't know
That's
why
right.
someone 47 years old would want a kid anyways. I mean, you're going to be...
I don't know that that's true, because there are situations in which grandparents adopt their grandchildren. For example, if the parents are deceased or are incapable of taking care of the children themselves.
What, 60-something? Your late 60s when your kid's grown? Like, I don't know. There's just
She'll make the kids put on their sock stand.
She'll make the kids with... Capone is funny.
Oh, gosh, that's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, I don't think it's a smart idea to be adopting after 55 anyways. That would
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so, and Dusty,
depends on what age
No
you're
kids
Got
adopting.
it, Michael.
Dusty, you're cut off.
Oh, no, I got 2 more years. I got 2 more years.
I'm past my limit. I'm okay with that.
And the thought of being pregnant after 2025, because January 2025, everything's going to change.
No,
Oh,
It's not
stop.
viable. It's not feasible. And it can't happen.
Well, true, and she's a very large woman. She's probably not going to live to be in her late 70s. Like, someone of her size, she's probably going to pass away, like, in her 60s. Like, so she would be dead before the kid would even be grown.
Right,
Happen,
Leslie?
especially if we have to stay here. And so I made that thread on Twitter trying to get people to understand you need to start taking your American dollars while they still have value before this man who has no real economic strategy, has concepts of plans, it has the ear of people who want us to move to a more untraceable, unstable currency. Before it goes to shit, you need to find a way to transfer money into foreign bank accounts and transfer the currency from the dollar to the country you're transferring so that you have some kind of valuable equity.
No,
So
don't.
make sure it is in Canada, because
Don't
you're only
think
going to get 70 cents for that dollar.
Well, speaking of that, in a video, I'm not going to play it tonight. I might say that for the next stream. She actually tells people to invest their money into Canada.
Well,
And I'm just
honey,
like-
you're losing money.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do that. Like, you're going to be losing
You
money.
want to invest your money into a country where your money is better than
Yes,
that.
and
Don't come to Canada. Don't come to
Kamikaze-
Canada.
At
because
least
it
the
is-
same, if not better.
Kamikaze
Yeah, the
is
same, if not
absolutely
better,
right.
yeah.
The American dollar has even got stronger since the election. The American dollar is
Right,
so strong
already.
right now.
Like, if anything, I would invest my money into America or, Australia or something like that, because our money's better there.
Yeah, the
Like
only
he says,
country
I'm in Canada. Send it to me.
Yeah, send it to me, Kalari. Send me your money.
the only
I'll take care of
country
it for you.
I could even think about investing in outside of the U.S. would be like Switzerland, because the Swiss franc is very strong.
Yeah.
It's even stronger than the American dollar.
Who's
So-
picks?
Do I?
well, yeah, that's exactly true, Misty. Yeah, Canada relies a lot on the United States.
Yeah, for some stupid reason. That's because somebody we know has chosen that instead of, using our own freaking resources.
Right.
I know.
Taylor Bliss,
Like, come on.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, she raised over $1 billion in 3 months, and now she's 20. The Democratic Party is $20 million in debt. She spent a billion with a B. She spent $1 billion in 3 months.
Isn't she supposed to spend her own money on her own campaign?
No.
No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, you can fund your own campaign, but
If you send 10 pounds, it costs you $18. See, it's the same thing. Like when you go to, when I go to buy stuff in whatchamacallit, it costs me $30 to buy something for 20 in America.
I know people don't want to hear it because it's coming out of my mouth. And I know I'm persona non grata for a lot of
That's
you.
obvious.
But trust
Okay, I'm going to stop here for part 2, and then I'll come back for the last little bit of it and do a part 3. Make sure that you go to Michael's channel, subscribe, like the video, and, he's not part of Girl World. Neither are any of the other panelists involved in this discussion. This is their basically first impression of our new locale. So enjoy while you can, and I will be back for part 3.